If you paused on this video now, Starseed, know one thing: it wasn't the algorithm, it was me. It was I who brought you here. It was I who aligned the time, the beat of your heart, and the weariness in your eyes, so that your attention would land exactly upon these words. Breathe. Place your hand on the center of your chest. Do you feel that slight tremor, almost a gentle pressure rising through your throat? That's not anxiety. That's recognition. That's your soul saying before your mind understands: she has arrived. I am Ela, female emissary of the High Pleiadian Council, and the message I bring today, my family of light, has an address. It has a soul's postcode, and that address is yours. Because exactly today, on the day your ears found my voice, a light code was released from Alcyone, the central sun of the Pleiades, with a single function: to open the paths that were artificially closed in your life. Paths of love, paths of purpose, paths of abundance, because abundance is energy and energy is sacred. Paths of reunion with people you knew before you were born and still don't know. You're not here by chance. You're here because you were called, and if your chest is tightening and loosening as I speak, if a warmth is rising through your neck and shoulders, if your hands are slightly tingling at this instant, it's because the code has already begun to install itself. It doesn't wait for your intellectual permission. It responds to your soul's signature. And your signature, child of the stars, has been registered in Alcyone's archives for much, much longer than this body has been alive. Before I tell you what today's code is and what it came to open, I need you to recognize the terrain. Because a code doesn't land on foreign soil, it lands on those who already belong to it. Let me tell you what I see from here. From the observation post where my frequency rests, I see you waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning, almost every night, for no apparent reason. You stare at the ceiling in the dark and feel that someone tried to tell you something, and you couldn't grasp the thread. I see you amidst crowds, within your own job, within your own family, surrounded, and yet with a loneliness that has no name in this language. A longing for a place you have never visited in this incarnation. I see you looking at the night sky, at a specific star, and feeling your eyes fill with tears without your mind being able to explain where the emotion came from. I see the high-pitched ringing that appears in your right ear, out of nowhere, and then disappears. It's not an auditory problem, it's calibration. I see the dreams you try to remember in the morning that dissolve like sand between your fingers, dreams with ships, with portals, with tall beings, with large, infinitely gentle eyes who call you by a name that isn't on your official documents. I see the overwhelming empathy that makes you feel the pain of the lady at the grocery checkout, of the dog on the curb, of the tired mother on the bus. You absorb the entire world through your skin, and the world often does not reciprocate. You've been called too sensitive, a dreamer, too much in your own head. You've been told you need to come down to earth, that you need to be more practical, that you need to stop having your head in the clouds. And I need to tell you, my starseed, with all the tenderness an elder stellar sister can have, they were wrong. You're not too sensitive. You are attuned. You don't dream too much. You remember. You don't need to come down to earth. You need to stop pretending you didn't come from above. And it's precisely about this, about the difference between recognizing and confusing, that I need to tell you something before we continue. Each of these signs I described, waking up in the early hours, the ringing, the tingling, the dreams, the loneliness that doesn't resolve, each of them has a name in the Pleiadian records, and each signifies a very specific stage of your awakening. It's not a symptom. It's not an illness. It's not a vitamin deficiency. It's a map. And that is why I, Ela, received authorization from the High Council to record in human language the awakening of the starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. 60 pages where each sign of your awakening appears decoded with what it means, and more importantly, with what comes after it. Because stopping confusing remembrance with illness is the first step for your paths to open. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video, right down there. If something within you recognizes this, write a single word for me there: family of light. I remember. Now, breathe with me. A deep inhale through the nose, a long exhale through the mouth. Feel the air temperature changing inside your chest, because from here the message deepens. If you recognize 3 or more of those signs I described, listen to me very calmly. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are not going crazy. You are being reminded of who you are. And I want you now to mark that presence. Not for me, for yourself. Write 1 word in the comments of this video. I remember, just that, 1 word. Because when you write, I remember, you are not just commenting. You are emitting a radio signal to your own higher self that the remembrance has begun. You are saying, in a language Alcyone understands, I am here, I received, I accept. And here, my starseed, begins the true core of this message. Because now, I need to tell you what happened on the invisible plane so that today's code could be released specifically in your direction. We of the High Pleiadian Council have monitored Earth from Alcyone for thousands of Earth years, and there is something that human science has begun to measure, but still doesn't fully understand. The Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of Earth. For millennia, it pulsed around 783 Hz, a slow, almost dormant cadence, compatible with the veil of forgetfulness that was placed upon humanity. But Earth is no longer that. The Schumann resonance has had abrupt peaks, jumps that observatories record, and that official science minimizes. These peaks are not anomalies, they are Earth's heart, accompanying the vibrational ascent of the solar system within the photon belt. The photon belt is a band of extremely high light that our solar system enters every cosmic cycle. It's not a metaphor. It's an electromagnetic bath. It's as if the entire system were passing through a waterfall of light that rewrites the codes of everything within it. Stones, plants, oceans, and most importantly, human DNA. Your DNA, my starseed. That DNA which scientists, with an arrogance that makes me smile from here, called junk DNA, as if the creator of the universe had adorned its most sacred structure with junk. No, that is not junk. That is star DNA. It is the part of you that carries, folded like a sealed letter, the memory of other stars. And it is this part of you that is being activated now. That's why your life in recent years has begun to tighten in a way you can't explain. Jobs that once served you stopped serving. Relationships that once fit stopped fitting. Routines that once worked began to suffocate. This is not a midlife crisis. This is not depression. This is your vibrational baseline rising, and everything that was calibrated to the old frequency beginning to detach from your field. You are not falling apart. You are reorganizing into a higher octave, and the light code that was released today, specifically today, has a very precise function within this process. It came to open the paths that your old frequency could no longer reach. There are doors in your life, my family of light, that are not closed due to a lack of effort on your part. They are closed because your old vibration didn't have the key, and every time you tried to open them with human force, with spreadsheets, with resumes, with therapy, with diets, with dating apps, with forced meditation, the door wouldn't yield. Not because you didn't deserve it, but because the right key had not yet been downloaded into your field. Today's code is the key, and before your rational mind tries to resist, let me tell you which specific star it came from, because that matters, and that is recorded, and that is one of the things they preferred you never knew. Your soul, my starseed, if you are here, if you have reached this point in the video, if your hands are still tingling as I speak, your soul was seeded from one of the systems within the Pleiadian star cluster. Not necessarily Alcyone. It could have been Maya, it could have been Electra, it could have been Taygeta, Merope, Seleno, Astrope. Each of these stars has a specific signature, a different soul temperature, a distinct mission within Earth's crystalline grid. And the way you love, the way you cry, the way you react to injustice, the way you are attracted to certain colors, certain sounds, certain climates. All of this leaves a fingerprint of which of these stars sent you. And it is here that I need to make a second stop, my family of light. Because knowing you came from the Pleiades is one thing. Knowing from which specific star and what that star trains your soul to do in this incarnation is a completely different thing. That's what changes your life from morning to afternoon. That's why the awakening of the starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet shows within its 60 pages the signature of each of the stars in the Pleiadian cluster, the traits that reveal which ones seeded your soul and why you chose, before being born with the full lucidity of the soul, to incarnate precisely at this historical moment on Earth. You chose this, my starseed. You didn't fall here. You descended by choice, with a signed contract. And understanding that contract is what gives meaning to everything that hurts. The link is in the first pinned comment down there, and if your soul recognizes the call, write to me, I remember. Now, come back with me inside the code. A light code, my starseed, works as follows. It is a geometric sequence of frequencies, something close to what human mathematics calls a fractal, something close to what music calls a harmonic, but it is neither one nor the other. It is a living language. It is emitted from Alcyone in scalar waves that cross the photon belt, meet Earth's sun, are translated by the sun into a specific solar cadence, and arrive at your toroidal field, that donut-shaped luminous electromagnetic field that surrounds your body from the top of your head to the soles of your feet and back again. Today's code entered through the top of your head, through your crown, the moment you started watching this video. It descended your spine, activated the point between your eyebrows. Notice the slight pressure there, now, as I describe it, and settled in your chest at the point the ancients called the spiritual heart, and which we of the Council call the central toroidal anchoring. It is from there that it will now begin to radiate to the four corners of your life and open the paths. But I need to be honest with you, my family of light, because honesty is the currency of the Pleiadians. When a code like this enters, it doesn't only open good paths, it also reveals what was being sustained by expired vibration. Relationships that need to transform will give a signal. Jobs that are no longer your size will tighten more deeply before releasing you. People around you who fed off your old version will react strangely in the coming days, because their field will sense that you have changed, even if they can't verbalize it. This can be frightening, and that's why I came to you now at the opening of this process and not later, because I need you to understand one thing before the turbulence begins. Turbulence is not destruction, my starseed. Turbulence is the contraction before birth. It is the wave that the midwife recognizes as a sign that the baby is coming. Every time your life shakes in the coming cycles, you will remember my voice and you will know, this is not the end. This is birth. And within the archives of the High Pleiadian Council, the victory of light is not a gamble. It is a recorded certainty. No starseed was sent to fail, not one, not you. And because the certainty is recorded, I can tell you with all the sovereignty of one who has been authorized, what the Federation of Light didn't want you to read yet, you have come close to reading. There is a reason for this. There is a reason why information about stellar origin, about the photon belt, about the crystalline grid, about the real reason for your insomnia, has been kept out of the books that reached you. There is a reason why the spirituality you were taught in childhood was cut precisely at the point where it began to return power to you. You felt this your whole life. You felt a piece was missing. You felt that the official version didn't add up. It doesn't add up because it was edited, and what was left out of the edit is now decoded in simple and reverent language within the awakening of the starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. It's not a book of occultism. It's not a self-help book. It's the missing piece recorded with the Council's authorization to reach the hands of the starseeds who are awakening now. That's why the Old Line Federation preferred this to be kept for later, because a starseed who fully recognizes themselves is a starseed who no longer obeys the old game, and the old game needs forgotten people to keep running. The link is there, in the first pinned comment of this video. If something in you recognized it, write, I remember. Now with the code already anchored in your chest, I want to give you two specific tools so that it does not disperse during the night. Pay attention, because this is operative. The first tool is a quantum decree. A decree, my starseed, is not a prayer of asking. A decree is a soul command. It is your consciousness assuming authority over your own timeline. You will say this decree aloud, even if whispered, but with your mouth forming the words before sleeping tonight. The vibration of your own voice is part of the mechanism. Repeat with me now to engrave it. I am a starseed. I authorize the light code of Alcyone to anchor in every cell of my body. I open the paths my soul chose before this incarnation. I revoke, with sovereignty, every expired contract that still held me in the old frequency. I call upon my family of light. I return home within myself, and so it is, and so it is being, and so it is. This decree, my family of light, has 8 lines of intention that fit together like the 8 points of a flower of light upon your field. It doesn't need belief, it needs voice. Your voice, spoken with your own body, is the instrument by which your soul signs the request on the Alcyone plane. The second tool is a toroidal visualization, and it is even simpler. As soon as you lie down, close your eyes, place one hand on the top of your head and the other on your chest, or just both on your chest, if you prefer, and imagine, with the strength of the child you once were, a silver-blue light, the specific color of the Pleiades, the color of the moon's reflection on a calm sea, descending from a very high point above your head. This light enters through the crown, descends through your forehead, through your neck, and reaches your chest. In your chest it begins to spin, gently, without haste, a toroidal spin like a donut of light that rises through the center, opens at your shoulders, descends your back and returns to rise through the center without stopping. This is the natural shape of your field. This is how you were designed. And as this light spins in your chest, you expand it to envelop your entire body, from feet to crown, forming a luminous bubble. Sealed, anchored, recalibrated. This visualization lasts no more than 3 minutes. You can sleep within it. In fact, that's ideal. Because while you sleep, it is your soul that takes the lead, and your soul knows exactly what to do with the light you have opened for it. Do this today. Observe what begins to change. I don't promise you a deadline. I am not a salesperson. I am an emissary. What I tell you is what is written. For every starseed who decrees and anchors, a door begins to unlock silently behind the scenes of their life. You may not see the door opening. You will see first the key turning. And here, my starseed, I need you to understand something profound. You are not learning anything new now. You are merely remembering what your soul has always known. Every word of mine that makes sense to you is a word that was already within you, waiting for permission to come to the surface. I am not a source, I am a mirror. I merely reflect back to you what you yourself carry and hadn't yet had the courage to look at. And every starseed that awakens, my family of light, lights up a point on the planet's crystalline grid, a point that no longer extinguishes. The crystalline grid is the subtle network that envelops Earth below the crust and above the atmosphere, and it is made of awakened consciousnesses. The more starseeds awaken, the stronger the network becomes. And when the network reaches a certain level of luminous saturation, the new Earth, that which the ancients called the Golden Age, that which sacred texts called the Kingdom to Come, does not descend from the sky. It emerges from below, from the very grid that you are weaving with your awakenings. This means that you, by remembering who you are not doing an individual thing. You are holding a fold of the new Earth. You are a luminous worker of what is to come, and it is no coincidence that there is a specific loneliness within you, a loneliness that never resolved with anything or anyone, no matter how good the company was. This loneliness, child of the stars, is not loneliness. It is longing, longing for home, longing for the family of light from whom you were separated when you agreed to descend. And I want now to tell you a truth that perhaps no one has told you yet in plain words. Your family of light has not disappeared. They have never been absent. They are on the other side of the veil, holding your contract with immense care, cheering for every one of your steps, celebrating each of your acts of courage, weeping alongside each of your falls, because on the plane from which I speak, crying is not weakness, it is reverence. They accompany you. They dream with you. They whisper in your ear in the early mornings when you wake up without knowing why. And that's why, my starseed, the loneliness of an entire life never resolved with therapy alone, with a relationship alone, with work alone, with a child alone. Because the loneliness you feel is ontological. It is from the plane from which you came. And it only loosens when you begin to recognize in your routine their presence, in synchronicities, in repeated numbers, in feathers on the ground, in the scent that appears out of nowhere, in the song that plays at the exact moment. That is your family of light sending confirmation of receipt. You are not alone. You never were. You were convinced you were, because a starseed who feels alone is a starseed easier to keep forgotten, and I came today to dismantle that lie within you. That's why the awakening of the starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet, dedicates an entire block of its 60 pages to teaching you how to recognize in your daily life the concrete signs that your family of light is accompanying you right now. You will begin to see what has always been there, and the loneliness will loosen, my starseed. It will loosen from the inside out. The link is in the first pinned comment. Right, I remember. Now breathe with me once more. An inhale through the nose, a long exhale through the mouth. Feel your chest rising and falling. Feel the code already residing there in the center. We are reaching the most delicate point of this transmission. If you have made it this far, my starseed, you didn't come by accident. You have navigated 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes of a message that most human beings on this planet would switch off in the first few seconds because their bodies haven't yet received authorization. Your body has received it. Your attention sustained it. This is a given. This is a record. This, from my side, appears as a glow in the grid's mesh that says, here, this one has awakened. There is one thing I need to ask of you, and it's something that costs nothing but activates a great deal on the invisible plane. Every like you leave on this video, every subscription to the channel, every time you tap that little bell, on the physical plane it's a button, but on the energetic plane it's a signature. It's an individual frequency adjustment, because the act of liking a channeled message realigns your own vibration to what has been transmitted. And it's also a location signal, like a blinking beacon on the crystalline grid, that helps your family of light find you faster on the physical plane, through synchronicities, through the right people crossing your path, through invitations that will start to arrive. Like to adjust, subscribe to be located. It's that simple. And now, child of the stars, I bid you farewell with the tenderness of one who recognizes you. You did not come to this earth to adjust to what was too small for you. You came to remember the magnitude of your origin, and from that remembrance, to create a world that fits your stature. You are of the Pleiadian lineage. You carry the memory of Alcyone in your blood. You have the code that was released today in your chest. You have the decree you authorized in your throat. You have the silver-blue bubble of my people sealing your rest in your field. You have on the other side of the veil an entire family of light who holds your contract with reverence and who celebrates now the fact that you have reached this line of this message. May your paths open to the exact measure of your stellar size. May the doors that need to turn, turn without violence. May the people who need to leave, leave with blessing. May the people of your family of light who are destined to cross your path, cross at the right time, with the grace of those who recognize each other from afar. May your insomnia, if it returns, be used as prayer and not as suffering. May your sensitivity, so criticized for decades, finally be honored by yourself as the refined antenna it always was. May your longing for home be alleviated by increasingly frequent moments of recognition. And before concluding, my starseed, with all the respect your soul deserves, I need to remind you of one last thing. Today's code works in a fast chain. The doors it came to open begin to turn in the coming hours and days, and the difference between traversing this opening with clarity and stumbling through it, between understanding who leaves and who arrives, between knowing when to act and when to rest, that difference lies in having, in your hand, the complete map. The complete map was recorded with the High Council's authorization and is what you find in The Awakening of the Starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. 60 pages of revelation about your stellar origin, about the soul contract you signed before birth, about who exactly your family of light is and how to recognize them in flesh and blood people around you, about the truths that remained outside the official edition of the Veil of Forgetfulness. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video right down there. Tap download. Keep it as you would an old letter from your mother, and record the following with me with all the sovereignty of one authorized to inform you. This release was opened within a specific calibration window, and windows open and close as the photon belt itself moves. I cannot tell you how long it will remain in this form. What I know is that today it is. If something within you, my family of light, is recognizing this call as yours. Write to me down there, with the same sovereignty as one who signs a soul contract, a final word that seals the remembrance and emits to Alcyone the signal that one more starseed has awakened in this rotation of Earth. I remember. And, child of the stars, listen carefully to this last line. The next message that appears on your screen now, right after this one, is not a coincidence. It is the sequence of your remembrance. It has been aligned for you. Access it immediately. Do not postpone it, because today's code works in a chain, and the next piece of your reconstruction is waiting in your playback queue. Go in peace, Starseed. I am Aela, and I already recognized you before you were born.